Hello, hello. It is me, Legendary. Welcome to the Foxhole Airborne HvL reaction video. We're about to lock in. The dev stream's about to start. Let's see what the devs have been cooking. Sit back, relax, and watch our reaction.
A dive bomber. We've not confirmed whether or not we're
right.
actually getting a torpedo bomber.
What confirmed that they're getting a torpedo bomber? Specifically,
Warden.
Me.
So here's the thing: everyone's thinking. I don't think planes are getting actual full-on torpedoes. I think it's going to be original torpedoes that planes will get.
The old torpedo model is still in the game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that planes get, because it just makes no sense for planes to have current torpedoes because they're fucking ginormous.
Yeah, they're
They are gigantic, but I
plane would be able to
also
carry them.
would be very much not surprised if they slapped that torpedo on the bottom of an airplane.
Yeah, but you would
Zero
literally need like a bomber to
Good point,
just
too,
like
yeah.
that. Like, they're fucking ginormous.
Bahamut brings up a good point too. If the Wardens get a torpedo plane, they're also going to cry because collies don't use big ships.
Guys,
Yeah.
sorry guys, one sec. Let's do everyone. They think they can do organized Twitch stream spam. Let's show them how it's done. Everyone type HvL ready, and then we'll send it. Everyone who's logged in. Everyone lock in. I'm gonna count down from 10, and then we're gonna press HvL ready.
Wait, hold on. Do you want to like type in a template? Oh, there you got it.
Just type in HvL ready, okay? All right. I'm gonna count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Send it.
Blast off!
Hell yeah.
Oh no. What happened?
Wait.
Give it 10 seconds.
Yeah, there it is. There it is a little bit.
I saw it pop up.
Yeah, I saw it.
Nobody
All
dots
6 of
me.
you.
Everyone's so late.
Nobody talks me.
I just realized that it just I had to verify on Twitch again,
wow,
and it just
bits,
displayed my
29%
phone
off.
number, and I'm like, oh, thanks.
Nah, it's all good.
Wait, how does the
Again,
follower in the chat work? Because I'm a follower. I have been a follower for literal years, and my chat message didn't work.
It's probably just the fact that we all typed the same message and sent it all at the same time. There's probably some...
No, it's probably
No.
telling him that he needs to be a follower for 1 month.
No, I need the double
but
I've literally been a follower for years.
We have almost 5,000 watching this.
We'll follow them hard.
Shit's
Follow
glitchy, I
them home.
guess.
5,000. Dude,
You're
that,
not the real
that number is
follower.
just soaring. Holy shit.
Hold on, let me see how many people are actually in Foxhole right now. Oh, I don't want to open up. Never mind.
Also, keep in mind how many people aren't watching it on the Twitch and watching it through a Discord.
or someone else's Twitch.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I mean, this is the biggest thing since they added boats.
2,900.
Damn, we're at a low point.
That number is
think-
climbing fast.
If I remember correctly, wasn't the Navy update, it had like 11,000 people?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was.
That sounds correct.
I don't
Maybe
see...
able to look at the.
I don't see Abtots on my list. Is Abtots watching?
Probably not. He might be in bed at this time, honestly.
Aw,
1 minute.
I'm a Abtots.
Alright, lock in, everybody.
Well,
Was that
playing a lot of
tough?
Tarkov.
Abdots was 104, the leader of 104.
Just got an at.
Oh, I
Discord,
remember that.
Foxhole. Oh, announcements.
Oh, it was a ping from FOD itself.
Yeah.
Music has
Well,
stopped.
It says Abtots is online, and he's been playing
Let's
Tarkov for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, alright, he's probably got up. He's probably about to
Refresh
start
your
his stream soon.
Music's changed? No. The music's still playing.
I think it just looped, guys. It just looped.
Oh, do I have your stream muted?
Calm down. It's okay. Not the end
Nobody
of the world
panic.
yet.
Nobody
panic!
Dev Man's late. It's 1 o'clock.
We're still not
Yeah.
late. Jeez, it's not on.
Abtots has not played Foxhole in about 6 months or something like that.
He's still angry. He's still
Now we
angry
have
about
a
the
dev
Mackie.
stream live at.
Yeah.
Stream like when?
I mean, fair enough. I mean, the guy's a submariner, and he wanted really badly to play subs. Then the naval came out, and he couldn't play subs.
For
You know.
those that are watching my stream, is the volume good? Oh,
Oh,
here
it's
it
on.
goes.
Oh, here we go.
And already a
Everyone shut
technical
up.
difficulty. Hello. Hello, hi, everybody. Welcome to our no longer bi-monthly
Damn it, you ain't got
dev
no
stream. This is the Airborne preview update. that we are going to be presenting to you today, and we have a ton of stuff to talk about. And while we have not talked in a really long time here in Foxhole Land, I'm going to hand it over to Mark so that he can catch you up and we can start showing you all the stuff that we've been working on.
Yeah, it's been a big update and finally excited. We've been holding on to this for a long time and we're finally really excited to show you guys what we've been working on all this time. First, I want to just talk a little bit about what led to this update. You know, we for those that are new, we set out to build Foxhole almost 10 years now, just about getting around that mark. We set out to build this persistent online war where there's thousands of players working together, not just on the combat side, but for every aspect of the war, making items, running supply lines, every aspect of the war, we wanted it to be driven by players. And there was really just a few simple principles that we've stuck to over the years. We've always tried to prioritize the gameplay. We haven't been afraid to try new things or to take risks, even if sometimes we miss the mark on some of these things, which we have. We've always tried to just continue to work at it, to iterate, to improve upon. But we've never shied away from trying to tackle big new features that we felt were crucial to fulfill the vision of the game, which Airborne is one of those, as you'll hopefully see today. And what we're going to show you today represents just one of the bigger steps in the journey. It's been one of the hardest dates we've worked on up to this point, and after 63 updates. And yeah, there's a lot of parts of this. It's not only Airborne, there's other things we have to show, and we're excited to show it. So just wanted to show a brief update for, again, those that are new, joined us over the last year. Here's just a summary of some of the updates we've done over the years. It's all the art that we've done for it, and it's just nice to see it all in one place here. There's actually more updates than what's shown here, but we got to the point where we couldn't fit it all on one screen. So, but yeah, let's jump into the first part of the update here, which isn't planes, but it's something cool. So we'll start with this video.
Oh, maybe we just get like a whole Booker nerf video right now.
Amphibious tanks.
Oh.
Baller.
Oh.
I like that.
Oh, wait. So before and after. Look. Before, after.
Hey.
Before.
Oh, those poor server hamsters. Those poor server hamsters.
Oh god, they're gonna be dying.
Looks crazy. R.I.P. people playing on potatoes.
New engine.
Yeah. This is gonna destroy my
Unreal
Steam
5
Xbox.
Yeah, there goes my alt account. Can't use my laptop anymore.
And yeah, so this is the first big feature we want to show off with the update. We've done a overhaul of all the visuals, of the environment visuals in the game, to be specific. And there's a couple of goals that we have for this. One is that we felt that other parts of the game, like the vehicles and the structures, had increased. We've increased the visual quality of them over the years as we've worked on the game. And one thing that we wanted to do was to go back to the actual world and the environment and to bring the visuals of those parts of the game up to the standards of everything else. So this was a massive effort. We've updated every tree, every blade of grass, every bush in the game. And we've also done this for each of the biomes in the game. We had to create new art for all of this, but the result is an environment that looks a lot more up to date with the rest of the game. And another big goal of this was when we came to work on Airborne, we really wanted to make sure that the world looked appropriate from high up in the sky. And a lot of the environment that we had originally made was not made to look appropriate from that high of a camera angle. So besides the actual visual art, we also did a bunch of engineering work to make rendering look appropriate from the sky. In fact, when we first tested out flying planes, the world looked very strange. A lot of the environment was not visible because of the way that the world was rendered, and we had to put a lot of work into making sure that shadows and structures and rocks and trees were all being shown from afar. And this has just been a massive effort. When you design a game to be made on the ground initially, and later on you want to make the game playable from the sky, it is a lot of work. So we're really excited about this. But Matt, maybe you can talk a little bit more about the process here.
16
Yeah,
times
so
the details.
one of the big things that we wanted to do was to make sure that the game still felt like Foxhole. We didn't want it to suddenly become something new or like hyper realistic, but we wanted to bring some of the visuals more in line, both thematically as well as just with the way that the art had kind of evolved in different ways. And so I wouldn't expect there to be like a whole bunch of new like little details or like facets to the world that weren't there before. It's just that a lot of the world has been updated, especially like we're talking like the natural environment, so foliage, grass, some of the some of the town textures and things like that have been updated. And one of the places that I think especially benefits a lot from the work that we've done here is the northern biome, which was a little bit flat, in my opinion, previously. It was something that we had worked really hard to try to figure out, but there wasn't really too many good solutions at the time for the way that we were doing some of the art, our workflow. So we also changed the workflow for how a lot of this stuff is done, which allows us to get a little bit more out of every like inch of the world without having to do a ton of like manual like work that would be otherwise incredibly time consuming for a team as small as ours. So we were able to take some of our experience and reapply it, given that we were doing this big overhaul. So a lot of what you're going to see is new areas that maybe feel like they have pretty old areas, sorry, that maybe feel like they have a fresh coat of paint. And it'll be kind of exciting to see how like videos and things like that come about as you guys dig into this. But one of the other big things is we are doing our absolute very best to make sure that like if you could play Foxhole well previously, you will be able to play Foxhole well now on the same sort of settings that you had before. That's the goal. Hopefully we will be able to continue to iterate and update and make sure that performance is where it needs to be, as well as the dev branch goes through and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you getting your hands on this stuff.
The Foxhole GeoGuessr is going to need some major updates.
I figured. I was wondering if someone was going to say it.
Great. Now let's. We said that. Let's get into the meat of the update.
Do it.
So let's talk about Airborne, right? So one of the things we did at the beginning was we wanted to set our goals straight for this update, because our goal was not to build the best flight simulator or to try to make a game to try to build an aircraft game that is comparable to other aircraft focused games. Our goal was to build the best thing that will make the parts of Foxhole special even more special, right? So we wanted to enhance the persistent war. And what we wanted to do was not only worry about what you're doing in the sky, but to worry about what's happening on the ground. Questions like, how do you build a plane? That should be a big deal in Foxhole. How do you supply the plane? How do ground crews keep your aircraft operational? These were the parts of aircraft and aircraft gameplay that we wanted to focus the most on, and we also wanted to just make sure that it worked really well with the land and the naval warfare games as well. And finally, large-scale player collaboration. We want to make sure that the big focus was on working together. If you're up in the skies, you could be most effective not by flying alone on your own trying to be a hero, but to work together with your crew on the ground. So that was a big focus of the gameplay. And without further ado, we want to give you guys a first look at how flying planes looks like in Foxhole. Let's take a look.
Here we go.
Okay, I think
Fully
I'll
player
fly,
piloted.
but-
I fucking knew it. There's no point in click. You gotta fly the plane.
Holy
I was gonna
shit.
say, why would it
Oh,
be?
that's pretty. Holy fuck.
That
Yeah.
looks
Player.
pretty good on the
Gotta fly the
ground.
plane.
Oh, look, we're gonna nuke that.
That's the scout's gotta be.
Whoa, look at that
What
thing.
the fuck?
Whoa,
That's, I think it's fucking
Yep, we're gonna get
massive.
the bomber.
Dive bombing. You can strafe run.
Paradrop.
Those are plane floats. That's a floating
Water-
plane.
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
floating
looks
plane.
like a beautiful plane to me.
We knew about
Wow,
it.
look at that guy.
Oh, what the?
Oh, wow.
What the hell
Very
is that?
fudgy.
Whoa.
Oh, so
There's a
those
lot
are
of
right.
aircraft.
There's a lot of aircraft, yeah.
Holy fuck.
Come on, show me breaking a ship in half.
Torpedoes,
Come on.
torpedoes.
Yep, strafing runs.
Strafing coming.
Oh, look at that.
Coming
Oh,
on.
Cool animation.
Oh.
Cool animation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shred
the
'em.
left wing.
Get shredded.
I like it.
There's a hole
Oh,
here.
the
Where?
left wing.
Subsystems like things. It's gonna be subsystems.
Wait, it's gonna crash. It's gonna crash.
Okay, that
That's
looked kind of
ins-
jaggy there.
All right, that's
Let's
how
go.
aircraft are going
classic
to work in
Warden.
Foxhole. So let's just talk about some of the basics first.
Didn't show me world borders.
Aircraft are fully controlled by players.
Skill
It
is
kinda goes
required.
without saying. There's different types of aircraft. There's fighters. There's bombers. There's scout planes. Other types of planes. And one of the things that we've done is we've chosen a level of simulation here for the planes that's designed to feel similar to other parts of the game. So we weren't trying to make an accurate flight simulator. We wanted to make it feel like it's in the same style of the infantry gameplay,
I like the
of
word
vehicle
manual
gameplay,
landing.
and the naval gameplay that we
Yeah.
already had. But one thing that is a slight difference is that a high level of skill, more so than other parts of the game, more skill is required to fly. There is failure in flying. When you take off and land, these are things that you have to practice to try to get right. It's not something that you can necessarily get right on the first try. And that's in part because the flight model was made to feel physically based, as parts of your
Physically
aircraft
based?
are wrecked, or the physics model will react to
on
that,
what?
and the plane becomes harder to fly.
Is it
So that's all to say that
The
the
more
flying
damage, the
experience
worse it
is going to
flies.
be a step up from driving a boat or driving a tank in the game. And to that end, crashing is a part of the game as well. And there is an eject function as well. You can eject from your plane if you're equipped with a parachute, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. Then you can survive the crash. Finally, aircraft can cross the region
Hold on, Jimmy, I
borders,
gotta make parachute now.
similar to the land vehicles.
Oh, it's similar
Do
to
it.
land vehicles.
Yeah, to
They're
get a little bit
crouched
more
across
into
the
the
region
space,
borders.
talking about aircraft being a bit more skill based, more information was required for the player on the HUD. So this is
New
what
ammos?
the aircraft HUD looks like in
Yeah,
game.
new
And
ammos, 20
to go over a
mils.
couple of these things here, the VSI and the heading are there, useful to help players
So I'm gonna guess that
find
one's Kali
to
fighter.
locate airfields and to land. And then the altitude and the ground instruments are there to help you do a pair drop, or if you're doing a bombing run, that's information that it is critical for that. And also there's a landing gear indicator, because that's a big part of taking off and landing. And then finally the altitude indicator here just helps, it's an indicator that is on not only your plane but on the planes around you. And then the next thing I want to talk about is uniforms. So pilot uniforms are required to fly most planes in the game. And one thing to note is that the uniforms themselves are valuable. And the other thing, moreover, to state, which we'll get into more later, is that the planes themselves are extremely valuable resources.
Yeah.
And the uniforms and the
Armats.
pilot themselves
Or sorry, rares.
is considered
Raremat's and Armats.
a part of that value. So when you're flying up there, you would want to prefer to salvage your plane as opposed to crashing it, and that's both
Oh, yeah,
because
no,
of the
that's
plane
gotta
and
be
the pilot
you're right.
uniform. But I do want to note that there are some planes in the game, specifically the scout plane, that it doesn't require a pilot uniform, and therefore it's more accessible to more players. So not everyone is gonna have to engage with this high value planes. Everyone's gonna get a chance to fly.
Quick, somebody snag Colonial
And
Aeronautics
to
Corps.
jump ahead here to the roles. So there's, like Foxhole fashion, there's different roles that players can take on. Obviously, there's the pilots, there's the gunners, and that works very similar to how it works in other vehicles. There's other roles here, like the bomber role. You're there to manage the bay doors and to drop the bombs, and there's also a co-pilot role on planes like the Paratrooper plane that's responsible for opening the ramp for a paradrop. And then there's also other roles here, like managing the air brake on some planes like the dive bomber.
Oh,
wouldn't that just be
is an air
Moving
brake.
on to
Nope, requires 2 people minimum.
air combat for a moment here. So fighters can intercept and engage the bombers, paratrooper planes, and other aircraft. And those aircraft themselves can fight back the fighters. And one thing I do want to talk about here is the damage
Weather
model
stations confirmed, intel stations.
on the planes. So let me just orient this here. So the damage model is a big part of the gameplay. Aircraft consist of different parts: wings, tails, and engines, and these parts can be wrecked or totaled. And as that happens, as damage is taken, the function of the aircraft will start to fail in different ways. The aircraft is going to be harder to fly, and the physics are going to react to it, right? So if your wing is torn off, you will start to struggle. If your tail is torn off, you will start to struggle even more, and you probably won't be able to fly the plane anymore. But as mentioned about the value of the plane, you will want to land your plane at that point and try to salvage it as opposed to crashing.
going to
So
be
a big
building
part
the
of the game
parts of the
is
aircraft.
trying to manage when it's time
Probably
to
the
return
bomber.
to your airfield.
Oh,
and
yeah,
try to
okay,
fix
yeah,
your
that makes
plane
sense.
as opposed to losing it out there. And at this point, Max, I think I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, we had a lot of fun with this. So an aircraft can we are simulating a simple form of physics with these aircraft. So a lot of what I learned a lot about how aircraft works from working on these aircraft, but you'll start to get a sense for it once you start to feel the aircraft fall apart, exactly how integrated the physics are into these aircraft. So, for example, when a wing gets wrecked, like you can see in the top left there, the lift of that wing is going to decrease, which is going to tilt the aircraft to the left and sort of pull the aircraft left. But you can offset that by using your rudder or your elevators to sort of shift right. And like I said, you'll get a sense for it once you're actually flying it, but it's really cool that as the aircraft starts to fall apart, as parts become damaged or wrecked and destroyed, that the aircraft starts to lose its functionality, starts to become harder to maneuver, might even start to climb and stall out. So the more practice you have in these aircraft, the better you're going to be as a pilot, but also the more likely you are going to be able to return to the airfield if you're taking significant damage. And as Mark pointed out, you'll want to try to recover the aircraft, even if you are taking tremendous amounts of damage. Even if you can't make it all the way back to the airfield, you might aim to land in friendly territory, for example, because even recovering parts of the plane would be a significant advantage, or a significant cost savings to replacing it. So there's a lot of different kinds of
change the large hole
actions
mechanics
that you can take as these aircraft. We've got the bombing runs, which you're meant to target land targets like facilities, soft structures. You can damage bunkers as well, but the expectation here is you should need a number of bombers to be able to do significant damage. We have dive bombers, which will be able to target land and sea vehicles. They'll
Land and
have
sea.
bonuses to subsystem disable chances. Torpedo planes, which obviously target ships. We got some really cool mechanics with that as well, which we'll get to later. And strafing runs. So
Lie down,
the
he's
fighters
talking
will
about
be
it.
able to target, like, they're predominantly meant for targeting logistics and disrupting, like, ground-based.
Someone's busting a fat one in chat.
It's coming!
Back behind the lines efforts, but you can also strafe frontline targets. But fighters have
They're not
other
gonna
roles
say
as
anything,
well,
they're just
like
gonna
protecting
roll a
against bombing
clip.
runs and shooting down scout planes.
Alright, let's take a look at anti-air.
Ooh, anti-air.
Let's have boats, please. Goddamn.
Please. Spotlights.
I fucking called it!
EMG.
Air attack mode.
Hey, look at that. Oh,
Hey, but how
that's
do
so
you
cool.
That looks
Ooh.
awesome.
Oh, look at that thing. What is that?
They added AAA. That's sick.
There's
We
on
already
this.
have the other one.
There's Big
Yeah,
Bear's
that
Flak
one's
88s. Oh, whoa. Look at that thing.
But can I shoot them at infantry?
Oh, is that 75?
Yes, please.
New ammo.
Yeah,
No, it looks like
detonation
70.
shrapnel.
Hey,
Yes!
there it is.
Hey, look at that thing.
Oh, new large structure.
I get to cross off. I've crossed off 2 things.
Called it.
Air search radar, let's go.
Someone in chat is like, how do you even target? Yeah, you'll see. It's fun.
No, ground.
So there'll be 2 kinds of machine guns. There'll be 2 kinds of 2 kinds of anti-air that you can utilize against the aircraft. Some of the machine guns will be able to tilt up and be able to target aircraft directly, like fighters when you're coming in for a strafing run. Many of the ships will be able to do this.
Yeah,
so, true to history, the machine guns on the decks of the ships will help prevent runs against the
Colonial
ship.
buff?
And then we have these cannons, which are these anti-air emplacements, these flak guns, which will operate very similarly to artillery. They shoot into the sky, and you have to try to land hits. There'll be an explosion that lingers in the air that planes could fly through and take damage. Again, true to history. And it will require team effort to try to hit something moving that fast, that high.
Alright, we'll just take a really quick look at the emplacements for each side.
Yeah, so this is the Colonial one. Both of these, the Colonial one and the Warden one, are very similar in functionality. There'll be one gunner who's there for to rotate it and also set the range, and the one gunner who actually has to set the pitch as well. So it's not done automatically. You have to figure out the pitch for the gun that needs to point up, and then try to figure that out or figure out the pitch needed to get the elevation you want to hit the aircraft in the sky. Here's the Warden one. Again, functionality is very similar.
Doesn't say the caliber.
Cool. So how do
No,
you,
but there
how do you
was more
spot
than
them
one-
coming?
one
How do you know
sentence
when to
for
get on the
description for
AA
Cali.
guns? Well, we've got a couple of forms of air intelligence. We've actually split intel between land and air, so you can't see both at the same time. You'll want to see. So you'll have to set up specific structures for detecting aircraft, and then you'll have to utilize them for alerting your team that there's an air operation underway. So this is the radar structure. This is a new large structure, which has 2 functions. One is the detection of air intel, similar to like a watchtower, but for detecting aircraft. It has a very large cone that you can rotate, so you can point it in the direction that you want it to face for detecting aircraft. It also has a seat that will be useful for the aforementioned pitch, trying to figure out the range, the distance for artillery batteries to target aircraft. So you'll want to place your AA batteries near these structures to maximize your effectiveness.
Okay, so I see. You basically need this specialized spotter
Now
seat
let's
to use
talk
the
about
AA guns.
aircraft logistics.
Interesting.
So would you be coordinating across the region?
Logistics.
I would assume so. I assume it works kind of like the Intel Center.
Okay, let's play count M stops.
5 million.
1,000.
New bomb item.
I'm getting close to bingo.
The buildings look like
launch pads. There's a launch
So it
pads.
is in parts.
Yeah, they're all large
yep.
pads.
Facility LARP.
Still seeing the alert gonna get real.
Those are huge. It's going to be difficult to get
Each
through.
individual
So that's how
I
it's
love it.
assembled.
It's weird that you do it with a truck, though.
They don't know about the crane truck.
What is that ground? Oh, that's the
So
runway.
what I'm seeing is the trailer is now the backbone of air logistics. Because it's just look at that trailer. It's just everywhere.
So they
Little
just
dot
put
update.
everything on the trailer for.
It looks like you have to replace parts as well if they get damaged.
Mass-produced trailers.
Yep. You can also strip plane for
There's a lot of
parts
questions
on
in
the
chat. I
jet.
just want to remind you guys, we will do Reddit QA later, so don't worry about it. As Mark said for earlier on, the emphasis that we really wanted, we didn't want to lose focus of what Foxhole really is. This Foxhole is
Airfields are
a game that takes place on the ground. It's a logistics game. It's an infantry game. It's a tank game. A naval game. Everything that happens on the ground should be as important as everything new that we're adding here. So Airborne, as much as it is the center of this update, we also wanted to make sure that we brought it back down to earth. What is it that you need to do to get aircraft running? What do you need to do to keep it maintained? A lot of our effort, like we said in the dev blog back in December, is supposed to be focused on the ground crews. It's well and good that it takes a lot of skill to be a pilot in the air, but you have to. What good is a pilot without the team that's dedicated to keeping their aircraft in tip-top shape? So, toward that end, we have airfields. These are placed throughout the world. These are world structures. But they are not the only places where you can take off some aircraft. So the airfields will be required for specific air operations. It will consist of 3 main structures: the runway itself, which has 2 tiers for smaller, tier 1 for smaller aircraft, tier 2 for larger. It's got a hangar for building the smaller aircraft, like the scout planes, and it's got an aircraft depot for storing the planes and constructing them and bringing stuff in. And it sort of acts as the central logistical point for that airfield. Think of it kind of like a seaport, but for aircraft.
I just want to say quickly, there was a new uniform.
So how
I
we
never saw
build
that last slide.
the aircraft. So this is where a lot of the teamwork comes in. So just like with large ships, how it requires a whole team to operate, not just people manning the guns, but people maintaining the ship itself. There will need to be a team of people who are keeping your aircraft running. And furthermore, they need to be out in the open. We really wanted it to be not some like UI thing. We wanted it to be all out in the open. You could see people walking around on the airfield, putting stuff together. So you'll build the airframe, which is constructed at the large assembly station. You'll bring that to the depot, which creates this, you can see in the background image, this kind of like airframe that's sort of missing all of its parts. Then you'll construct the parts, bring them over on trailers and small trains, and then submit them to the aircraft to put it together. There'll be many different kinds of parts that you need to for different kinds of aircraft, and then you'll need to produce the ammunition at factories and at the ammunition factories. An important note is that even a lot of this sounds really complicated, and it's meant to be a team effort, but there is a small aircraft, that scout plane, that you can build without doing any of this. That doesn't need any facilities or anything. So smaller groups of players can choose to operate smaller aircraft, which will have less complexity. But even solo players can get a taste of flight by playing in the scout plane without dealing with any of this stuff. So here's a screenshot of here's screenshots of generally what this will look like. You'll need to refuel your aircraft, which will be a huge part of aircraft. Having airfields that are close to the front will allow you to refuel them and get more flight time and give you an advantage in dogfights or in operational range. You'll need to assemble them together as a team. This can take time, and disassemble as well for repairing. When aircraft takes damage, it's a process to get those parts repaired. You'll need to take them off. You'll need to repair the underlying core structure. And you'll need to rearm them as well. You'll have to bring in the ammunition necessary. Some of them are large items, some of them are not. And yeah, it should be. Our expectation is that over time, or is that there will be a whole host of people on the ground. Air traffic controllers, even repair crew directors, people needed to keep flights of aircraft in the sky.
Depends how many aircraft are flying. You gotta need
Also,
to clear
and
airspace.
I think we're about on schedule, Max, for this next part, which I'm personally pretty excited about. So let's get to it.
Oh boy. I know they haven't shown torpedoes yet for a reason.
Oh
There's
boy.
paratroopers, okay.
Oh, look at the drip. Look at that drip. Berets.
So
We
last
got
time,
berets.
it's all- And what the Wardens look like.
Oh no, well, I'm already not
Here
a
comes
fan.
the Colonial.
physically jump.
SAS.
Here comes the tap up. Wardens can carry satchels. And then
Alright,
G
and
houses
the
go
AI
brr.
kills all of them.
Imagine if you could paratroop while being encumbered.
Alright, so the Wardens
both
get them
sides have
too.
one.
For once, the Colonials look better than the
We
Wardens.
actually have drip.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah, those
talk
guys
about
look hot.
paratroopers. So, just to talk about how you equip and prepare for a paratrap.
Whoa.
You obviously need a paratrooper plane.
Invisible?
You need a pilot and a co-pilot
That's
to fly
crazy.
it. And if you want to suit up, you need a uniform and a paratrooper backpack, which obviously contains the paratrooper. I mean, the parachute. And everybody walks onto the ramp and they load up onto the paratrooper plane, and the pilot flies it to the target location. The co-pilot will open the ramp, and to actually paradrop, it doesn't take much. You just walk off the ramp and your parachute will automatically open. And then that's essentially how it works if you want to drop behind enemy lines. One important feature here is that when once you jump out and once you hit the ground, paratroopers will be invisible to map intel for a period of time after dropping. Right now, that's around 30 minutes, but that duration is
wow.
Shit. 30 minutes of
30 minutes of
invisibility.
intel.
Well,
No.
just
You can
want
cross
to
the
take a
whole
look
map
at
in
the
that time.
two uniforms here.
Tigers
Here's
in
the
heaven.
Colonial uniform, and here is the
Actually,
Warden
like the
one,
Warden one
and
too.
then there's also the backpack item here that is required to drop. And just to
We're
note,
spamming
if
landmines.
you can jump
We don't
out
need to see them for the
without a
mines to go.
parachute, which is not a good
I was
idea.
expecting only
If you're
5
over
minutes
encumbered, your
invisibility.
parachute
Like
no,
30
that's gonna
minutes, you
be-
could realistically just drop
deploy as
yourself
well.
in
Wait.
friendly territory and then
It's possible
do
to
a
have
regular
accidents
partisan
and-
run.
and
Wait,
even
what did he say about being over encumbered?
And having said that, I think it's time to look at the aircraft for each faction, and I guess we will start with the Colonials here.
So it is a seaplane. Look at that.
I assume that's our scout. Yeah.
Amphibious.
It's just
It works.
depth charges.
Oh, it drops charges. It drops depth charges.
The inverted goal ship wings.
Myrmidon.
That died very quickly.
I think it was.
What the
I
fuck
think
is that?
The plane was already
Land
damaged just for the demo.
New gunboat.
Oh my god, I might get bingo for that. Let's go.
Is that a crane on the bowhead?
Heavy bombs.
Oh, that was a.
See, Colonials get heavy bomber. Okay. Yeah.
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That looked really painful for whatever was on the ground.
We can airdrop onto ships.
And you can, they're pretty high up too. Like you can get some altitude.
Those animations on fire, by the way. The sprint into.
All right,
Colonial.
you're
Let's
gonna
see
see the Wardens. Notice no.
Man, it's hard to
No
believe how
torpedo
much
bombers.
time has gone by since I
That's
started
naturally
working on this.
cooked.
It's been like 8 months.
Oh,
I know
it's
you
like
could
counter gun-
community. You probably felt like it's been years, but
Oh,
we've
it's been
working
a
on
lot
these
longer than that when we started working on the prototype. It's been
Oh, so this thing
almost 2
does have a
years,
main gun too.
That's
Look
true.
at that.
I mean, if you want to get
Yeah.
really, really
Guys,
technical,
chill,
I
chill,
mean, we did a
listen.
prototype of this like 5 years ago or something.
I think we started. I think we started writing code about 2 years ago. I could be off by a couple of months, but yeah, I think it's been about 2 years. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so let's go through these aircraft one at a time. Let's give you guys a general sense of what we're expecting to see from them. But of course, a reminder that a lot of this stuff could change in Dev Branch, so try to take that with a grain of salt. This is the Colonial Scout plane. This is the plane that you will be flying if you're just a solo player and you just want to just want to get into the sky and see what it's like. The purpose of this aircraft is it can drop mines, surface water mines, which we'll get into a little bit later. And it has very limited ammo for dogfighting, but it can potentially fight other scout planes, and it can also do a couple of strafing runs. The Colonial Fighter. This is kind of the centerpiece of all of the planes. It kind of functions as the linchpin for the entire arsenal. It's predominantly used for countering other aircraft. If an enemy is doing a bombing run, for example, this is the premier way of stopping it. It's also used for dogfighting other fighters. It shoots down scout planes pretty well. And it takes only one pilot. But again, as we said earlier, the ground crew is important too. You'll have to keep these things rearmed and refueled. The dive bomber. This is my personal favorite.
This is one of my favorites. It's so fun. I don't know
it's so fun.
It's so fun.
You can so this is able to drop bombs on both tanks and ships. Its main advantage is that it damages the turret, or it has subsystem disable chances. So if you're attacking ships, for example, you'll want to try your best to get a precise hit on the turrets in order to disable them. And that's why it's a dive bomber. The act of diving down towards the ship is what gives it its accuracy, and to try to drop that bomb exactly where you need it to go will be important for the effectiveness of this.
And there's actually another function for the gunner role, right, Max? You want to talk about that?
That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. The rear gunner will help protect the plane from fighters, for example, that are on its tail, but it also has an air brake. So the gunner will be able to initiate an air brake, which will slow its descent, making that targeted hit a little bit easier, but that will require good teamwork and skill. The Paratrooper plane. So yeah, as Mark said, you'll be able to launch air operations and drop partisans behind enemy lines. They'll be invisible to intel for about 30 minutes, again subject to change for balance. I want to just state that, like, for the longest time, partisans have been struggling in our game. They've just logistics is such a core part of our game. We had to be very careful.
Yeah, we don't want to hear this
too much. And this Paratrooper plane is kind of our opportunity to go back to some of that original partisan experience. Feeling unsafe in the back lines is supposed to be a part of Foxhole, but we need to make sure that that's carefully balanced. So we're going to be listening to you guys' feedback about that, but keep that in mind. The goal here is to ruffle some feathers a little bit.
They will be ruffled.
The Colonial Heavy Bomber, this tremendous number of bombs, and it does a
bombs.
tremendous amount of damage. But the expectation here is that you should need a flight of them. It shouldn't just be one guy in one bomber doing tremendous amounts of damage. It's supposed to be a whole wing of them flying in formation, trying to drop their bombs on the same target. If you can do that, this thing will be extremely devastating. And one of the most effective ways to counter it will be with fighters, so you'll want to protect them as well. You'll want to have fighter wings running alongside them, and possibly escape routes. If it starts to take damage and starts to go down, you'll want to try to find a way to recover them without going down behind enemy lines.
All right, that does it for the Colonial aircraft lineup, and now let's move on to the Wardens.
Oh boy. I need a jet fighter.
Comes the shit
Let's go.
We didn't get a torpedo bomber.
I know.
Oh, they get a little motorboat. Oh wait, no, it's the plane.
Yeah, we've seen that already.
That thing's tiny.
What?
Yeah, they get torpedoes.
Those are
Little teeny
torpedoes.
tiny torpedoes?
That's a torpedo.
That's a cool plane.
Oh yeah.
I almost spelled the name right.
Okay, yeah, so they don't die instantly.
Okay. Look at the big torpedoes.
It's the big torpedo.
Yeah.
Well, big holes are getting reworked, so
we'll see.
Light bomber. Hold on. Light bomber. Oh boy.
I hate that
That's the bomb bay back there.
It scares me.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what that was either.
That's a terrible fucking way to design your aircraft.
It is.
It was like a walker from Iron Harvest.
Okay, I know we're panicking
So they
about the
don't have a heavy
torpedoes.
bomber.
Well, we'll see.
No,
We'll
wait,
see. We'll see.
We'll see.
They did not show any interesting animations.
Cool. The Warden scout plane. I forgot to mention this about the Colonial scout plane. They both float on water, as you can see from the videos, which will be important later. Again, we'll talk more about it later. Similar to the Colonial scout plane, this one or recon plane, this Warden recon plane drops a mini torpedo. So again, useful over water, meant to counter small ships. It's got limited ammo capacity for shooting its machine gun, but its primary purpose is to support early game and small ship naval. The Warden Seafighter. So this is an extra plane, which I'll talk more about a little bit later, but this is an extra plane that the Wardens get that the Colonials don't. So you'll notice the Wardens actually get this one extra fighter, and I will explain why later. This is a fighter. It's more limited in its ammo capacity. It's slower in speed than the Warden fighter, but it does provide some more short-range options, like being able to land and take off from water. The Warden fighter. This one is is symmetrical to the Colonial one, but they're not exactly the same. They both have a different feel to it. But it has this one has a 14.5 millimeter cannon, which is actually the AT rifle ammo, the 20 millimeter that you guys are used to. We just changed we're changing the name because 20 millimeter was a little ridiculous that people were walking around with that. So it's got the secondary armament is an AT rifle that will allow it to target lighter vehicles like armored cars on the ground, as well as strafing targets. Torpedo bomber. This one is my second favorite ship, and they're pretty close between this one and the dive bomber. This one drops 2 torpedoes. What I love about this one is to get the torpedoes into it's loaded up, you have to do the wrench thing just like the submarines, which I just think feels really, really great. When you drop torpedoes, this is important. Take notes. When you drop torpedoes, you have to be a certain height above the water. If you're too high above the water, it'll detonate on the surface. But even at the height, if you're too high, the torpedo has to sort of go down into the water and then come back up to the surface. So if you're still pretty high, but and you drop the torpedo, you could miss your target by having the torpedo basically go under the ship that you're trying to hit. So you want to try to give yourself a lot of run time, and you want to try to get as close to the surface of the water as possible to keep the torpedo on the surface.
Actually, it's funny, Max, because I felt the same about the dive bomber being my favorite first, and then I saw this one in action later on, and I'm like, I think I'm changing my position.
Yeah. You guys are wrong. The dive bomber is cool.
So here's the Paratrooper plane. Again, similar to the Colonial one, this one functions a little bit differently with where the parts are located, but generally speaking, it's pretty similar. There's actually something I forgot to mention about the previous Paratrooper plane. They also carry crates. This one carries a little bit more than the Colonial one, but they can carry crates on them, which are represented on the interior, which can be used for delivering them from airfield to airfield. So if you wanted to do some air logistics to bring critical supplies from one airfield to the next, you can do that on these Paratrooper planes.
That's dope. Also, this plane's ugly as fuck.
I love ugly planes.
And the light bomber. It says light bomber, but they're pretty similar. I think it has a slightly lower bomb drop rate, but its maneuverability is better. But they're pretty similar, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. This one has 2 machine guns, one on the rear and one on the top. It does not have one on the
What's
front.
the Colonials going to get, considering they're talking about how Wardens get all this extra air
All right,
stuff?
it's time to talk about the next big feature
Oh,
of
no.
the Airborne update.
We didn't.
What now?
We'll start up with the video.
no.
here.
We didn't want the Colonial gunboat to be as good as the Warden gunboat.
Oh boy.
Let's see what this is.
New types of ships, cruiser.
Yes, let's go!
There we
New
go.
region.
New multi-region.
I was wondering where that was from.
In maritime areas?
areas.
Maritime
Yeah.
areas.
Let's go.
Interesting.
Onyx, I like the name.
Multi-region islands. That's awesome.
Island mark.
Robbie Sweet.
There's gonna be borders.
Told you, legendary.
Let Arcus
Told you.
I mean, this was a pretty easy one to predict.
Yeah, they always had new hexes with every major update.
Lycos Islands.
But this is sick.
This is beautiful,
fantastic.
especially with the
Vacation home?
Oh,
Vacation
Oh,
home?
that's really cool.
Keto?
That's cool looking.
It's my new home.
3 new hexes? Where are they
Asking for my aircraft?
So we only showed a couple of new regions
Only
there,
a
but
couple?
there's
Oh,
quite.
there's
a few.
10 new. Holy shit.
Holy shit!
Holy fuck.
I was wondering how they were
Okay,
gonna
okay.
actually
More
Okay,
than that,
everyone keep
technically,
quiet,
'cause We
please.
had to alter some of the existing maps a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot more changes to the world than just adding 10 new map regions. But why don't you talk about a little bit of our motivation for adding these new regions?
Yeah, sure. So we really liked the symmetrical view of the world, but it was we had to add some more maps because something we were feeling was that the naval gameplay was getting somewhat suffocated. Like there wasn't enough space to really maneuver. We watched a bunch of you guys' really great YouTube videos talking about the naval battles, and they tended to happen across 2 regions, even 3 regions, which is super awesome. But like that's the whole ocean. We needed more space if we're going to add aircraft to it, which could cross 1 or 2 regions or more, right? So we had to somehow add space, but we didn't want to take away from the land game, so we felt like we had no choice. We had to expand out. We had to create more playable ocean space so that you guys could have battles that didn't play out the same way every time.
I mean, and one of the big things that has been talked about before is more ocean space. Like that's something I've seen a lot of players talking about since before naval, even just having more like ocean tiles in general. So this was a good time to do it, and also it adds a lot of variety and new ways to interact with like the airborne gameplay and the naval gameplay. So one of the cool side effects of this is we get to explore a little bit more of some regions in the lore that maybe we hadn't previously. So a lot of the new, I think all of the new northern regions are in Nicknevin, and all the southern region, all the new southern maps except for Lycos Isle are in the in Veli, so we have even more Velian maps as well now, so that it'll be kind of cool. And some people who may have followed the development and all the way back to our older map concept art will recognize some of the names that show up.
Okay, I'm gonna actually show the new map before you guys keep talking.
Yeah, well, and one thing I will say too is some of the visuals are still work in progress, so just keep that in mind as we go into the dev branch and stuff.
Yeah, same with this map image. Oh,
that's weird.
This is a work in progress, so you'll notice that the mountains are really hard to see. That's just work in progress. But you can, I think, if you zoom in, you can probably gather a pretty good idea of what's been changed. I think the main thing you want to look at is how. Take a look at the roads on these new larger islands. These multi-region large items. They're somewhat different. I'll let you guys speculate about what that means. You'll notice we've changed. We've had some places. We made Fingers basically a whole island because of how awesome it was and how much I loved it. But what we really loved about the Fingers, we noticed from a lot of you guys' gameplay, was that Fingers reached into Reaver's Pass, and that was a big part of the reason that people really focused on it, and it was the center of so much conflict. And we really liked that, so we kind of did the same thing in several places here. We wanted to reach into the mainland so that you guys, when you take this island, it actually has meaning. Taking this larger island means like an easier jump off point for actually getting back onto the mainland.
All right. Are we done yet, Max? I think maybe we have a bit more here. Yeah, actually, there is something cool here. Where we talked a lot about this update, about about planes, about the graphical overhaul, about the new maps, and there is actually a second update we worked on to include in this airborne update, and we're gonna show it to you now.
Oh god.
Naval changes.
That's why it was delayed.
Here it comes.
Yep.
Valve anti-cheat. Valve anti-cheats here.
Ooh, okay, this is
Thank
nice.
God, we can
quality of life.
Barges on suicide watch.
Whoa!
I like that.
Surface mines.
Dust crop.
Oh, you look great.
This feels like a naval update, not the
cool,
real.
very cool.
Hey!
Whoa!
Yay!
Hey, Collie's got a closed-in boat.
Finally got it closed, enclosed.
What the fuck?
Oh my god, look at that
Another
thing. It's like a
one? Okay.
armored speedboat.
What?
Oh, there's the picket ships.
Medium boat.
It's an AA boat.
Are these facility modified?
Hey,
The Corvettes.
Corvettes.
It's the Corvettes. I fucking called that.
Are these
Wait, is that an open-topped Warden ship?
What?
Yes, let's go.
Uh-oh.
NLRS boats.
Oh no.
Those are the
Those are the siege rockets. Those things crack
That is
concrete.
fucking awesome.
Oh shit! Look at that thing. That's the fucking.
We're building
Oh,
Jake
yeah,
Foxhole
yeah,
Island.
It's the fucking Electo boat. It's the Electo boat.
This
They're
is a naval
pirates.
update, dude, not an air update.
All right,
Fucking naval
Naval
update!
Warfare Part 2, Max?
It just keeps going.
Everything updates.
Still no.
No, this
mention
is not
of
really
the
Naval
torpedo
Warfare
chamber.
Part 2. This
we're
is
selling
let's.
They're holding on
And,
that for
and that's
so
not all
long.
though.
That's not
They
all.
said there was
Anyway,
a change
that's
to
just
the.
a
we would
large
love
holes.
we would love to come back to naval warfare, but this is not that.
worse.
So this is what we really wanted to expand on was the early war naval gameplay specifically. A lot of you guys, we watched some of the early game naval gameplay, and it was lacking. We saw barges with HE grenades. Basically, that was the
You
culmination.
don't like the
of
barge
early-
battles, Max?
No, I really hated the barge battles for so long. So now we wanted to expand on this. We wanted to give we wanted there to be an actual game in the Navy in the early start of the game. We wanted to give more accessible naval options. Like these were. The smaller groups of players don't want to build a giant destroyer to get into the naval game. They want more than just the gunboat. So this is for them. And we wanted to give the scout planes a dedicated combat function because we don't want scout planes to really stifle the infantry gameplay in the early game, like over land. So we wanted to really emphasize a purpose and a combat role that wasn't going to just be that wasn't just going to kill infantry and do strafing runs. So these guys, that's why they got the surface mine and the mini torpedo. Their main role is in this early war naval game. So we've got a new kind of mine, which is a surface mine, which is used for countering small ships. We've got an underwater mine, which you guys have seen, but now you can place it on the surface. But this mine is what's used for countering larger ships, or large ships. And all these mines can be placed as splines now and maintained as structures. So you don't just place them down and they last for 2 days. They have to be maintained with maintenance supplies, and they can be destroyed with damage. So they're an actual structure now. The role of scout planes is to interdict logistics and to help scout for these minefields. Ships. We have a lot of different ships, as you saw in the video, that have different specific roles, like anti-air, anti-ship, and shore bombardment. And we added a new light freighter, which is meant to deliver crates directly from one seaport to another seaport in smaller amounts. It can also deliver crates directly from a seaport to a storage ship, which is the Bluefin, which you can use to support your naval landings.
Yeah, because people use bluefins on naval landings.
So here's the mine boat. This was really cool. The work that was done on this is exemplary, and it was we used some of the stuff that comes from the construction equipment. So there's a really cool animation where the mines sort of drop off the back and then get submitted to the build site. But we'll let you guys sort of give that a shot.
Valve anti-cheat.
It's got a machine gun on the back, which can help protect it against scout planes. The light freighter I explained a little bit earlier. It represents the crates themselves are represented on the deck of the ship. So if you're attacking a light freighter, you actually know if it's full.
That's really cool.
There's a lot of those memes of like, oh, my bluefin was empty, but now in this one there's no denying if you killed something with value.
These aren't BMS, by the way.
I'm gonna fill those with pistol ammo
The
and
light
drive
boat.
them
This
everywhere.
is used predominantly for escorting. Escorting ships. This is pretty effective at countering like any aircraft, really. So it's useful for escorting like the larger ships as well. This one's pretty fast. It uses a new type of ammo that is specific for countering aircraft. It shreds the scout planes, so if you see one of these, avoid it. Similar for the Wardens, theirs is a little bit larger, a little bit tougher, but it performs a similar role, but it's slower.
Collie's finally get a faster boat.
Drop a little bit.
Right.
Of the renders here.
And I like that each of these have deck space that, like, even if you don't want to use it for its intended purpose, you can still walk around on there with guns and use it for anything. It's a sandbox game. The medium boat. So this is the one that's meant to counter other small boats. So think of this kind of like a tank on the water. It's meant to shoot at other ships, the infantry boats, the freighters. It could be used for raiding, but or protecting your logistics chains. It should be noted. Well, I guess we'll get to the next one. So a similar thing for the Warden gunboat or the Warden medium boat. This is like their light tank of the sea, meant to be the premier way of destroying other ships.
Giving 30 mil a lot of new uses.
Twin.
It's worth mentioning that these are shipyard vehicles. These are not facility. These are all shipyard, right? Because like we don't have big vehicles for these ships yet. These are like the base vehicles of these ships. You don't need to build facilities for these.
Enjoy it while it
Yeah,
lasts.
it's
It's going to become
to
variants.
say, Max, that one of the driving forces of this
Well,
is
the rocket
just
thing looks like a variant of
just
Chiron.
allow more players to participate in a naval game.
Yep. And they're not even. I could be. Maybe I'll just save that then. I'm not actually completely sure, but it's meant to be accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
And the siege boat. So there's a bombardment. There's a way to bombard the shore with these things. These are all early game vehicles. I should note these are like very early game. Think like the first couple days of the war, you'll be able to run these. So they have these bunker busters early war. They are extremely powerful for busting things open near the shoreline, and that's intended so that you guys can still potentially perform naval landings early on in the game, but they're limited to the sea. And remember, there are sea mines. So even though there's quite a powerful shore bombardment weapon now, remember there's also ways to protect against these sort of things.
The Shatter Augurs are good though.
We did a new Colonial gunboat.
What's different about this one, Max?
It has an interior space, which nobody asked for.
Nice.
There has been an ongoing complaint that the Warden gunboat is just superior in every way, and one of the main criticisms was that it has this interior space where players can be protected. So we tried our best to alter it in days past, and you'll notice that we still use it in the shore bombardment ship. So we've just changed its role to something new, and instead, in place, we've given you this brand new Colonial gunboat. So they should be way more symmetrical, the Colonial gunboat and the Warden gunboat. And these gunboats, the gunboats are important. They are still the only way for small ships to attack large ships. All of these other ships, they're not going to be effective at killing large ships. The large ships are still, when you see them, they still should dominate the seas.
Open tab Warden gunboat.
And here's the Warden siege boat. This is the monitor. The Warden equivalent of the shore bombardment one. Again, remember this is early war. They will be powerful, but there are mines now to mitigate against them. It's cool that you can actually see the mines on the deck. It's not shown in this render, but that little pallet there, you can put the shells down. You actually have to walk them to the gun, which is really neat for a small ship.
Here you go.
Someone hold on.
We didn't want to leave the large ships out in the cold. There's a lot of changes that we made to the large ships, but again, this is not the major. We'd love to make more changes to large ships, but these were the ones we needed to make now. We felt like the damage control gameplay, for players who were doing damage control, we felt like it was just way too rudimentary. It was too one-dimensional. So we wanted to give you guys more stuff to think about, more things to prioritize, and we wanted to address some key criticisms about large holes. So large holes can now be repaired with metal beams. But if a new leak opens in that compartment, it will reopen the large hole. So you'll still want to take these things to dry dock to repair them, but the large holes won't be as devastating as they were before. You'll still, we just didn't want you guys bailing water 100% of the operation. We just needed to give you an option to disable that. The disabled turrets can now be repaired, but it will take a large number of metal beams. So losing a turret in the midst of a fight will still be devastating and will still give damage control crews something to think about. But you can repair it so that losing a turret doesn't mean the end of the operation. You'll be able to reload all the barrels at once with a longer reload time. We did this because we want the damage control crews to feel like they have more things to think about. So you want to communicate to the gunners. You don't want the gunner to just keep hitting R whenever they can. You want to tell them when to reload because all 3 shells are in. So give you guys more stuff to think about and do. And of course, that I mentioned this earlier, the underwater mine can be placed on the surface, so now you need to be aware of mines. So keep an eye out. You'll want people on the decks looking out for those mines.
All right. This brings us to the final feature and piece of content
Oh,
for
boy.
the Airborne update.
Even more.
One last thing, which
Nemi
I
variant.
think everyone's going to be hopefully excited about.
Nemesis.
Holy shit!
Oh, there we go.
shit! There's no fucking way. They actually did it.
Nice.
Oh damn!
Nah, that's fucking did it.
But the collies don't get.
There's the
collies don't
catapult.
get.
It's a
Collies does a good one.
Multi-carrier.
Is that an AI gun on the bow?
Holy soldier. They saw your catapult.
That's gonna be expensive as fuck.
Yeah, we get the
We
better
get the traditional one.
Wait, no, hold on. Those are fighters.
Yeah, those are regular fighters, not the.
Oh wait, we
It's
actually
still
get a carrier. They get the catapult thing.
We have to land manually though.
Oh my god, we have to learn how to fucking land on an aircraft carrier.
Wait,
I'm
no,
gonna
guys,
say all the people in
guys,
people in the chat are really angry.
We got wood on our ship. Let's go.
Still something about the torpedoes.
Yes.
Look at all the people in chat that's really angry that Corey's
Nobody
got
asked for
something.
Yeah.
Just
This has never been mentioned by anyone ever. No one's
Yeah.
ever wanted these vehicles in the game.
The Colonial aircraft carrier. So
The grass and
this
the
one
funnels going.
is you'll have there's two aircraft that can launch from this: the dive bomber and the fighter plane. So there's an advantage to being able to launch the fighter because the fighter is the premier weapon for protecting against like bombing runs and other aircraft. So being able to launch a basic fighter from the ocean is the Colonial's biggest advantage. The dive bombers, you'll also be able to launch from this thing to help attack and assist against other ships. And you can rearm them here
I'm
as
getting
well.
the
But,
hopium
and we spent some time, a lot of time, trying to like fine tune how hard it is to take off and land on these things. It will take a challenge. It will take a lot of skill, but it is doable. And it's awesome when you can. When you finally figure out how to do it, it just feels great. That elevator goes up and down. There's whole roles associated with that for like repairing and maintaining aircraft on these things. The Warden aircraft carrier. So, like I mentioned earlier, the Wardens get an extra fighter, something that the Colonials simply don't. And now I hope it becomes clear why. The point of this fighter is to launch it from this aircraft carrier. This fighter was designed for this aircraft carrier. It's you can fly in, you'll land next to the ship, and then you'll be able to crane it back up on and rearm it, and then and bring along these aircraft with you. It's a lot easier to take off and land with these, and again, you don't have to use the aircraft carrier with these aircraft. They can fly off, and you can rearm it on other places. But having this aircraft carrier is what's going to enable your naval fleets to bring the aircraft with you, to have that mobile airfield that allows you to rearm and refuel right next to the front and allow the aircraft to get the maximum out of it.
I love that plane.
And brings us to the release
February
date.
9th.
So,
February 9th.
Airborne's going to be arriving on February the 9th.
Get your holidays ready.
So look out for
Nemesis
that date.
variant, my
And
beloved. Where is it?
there's something else to talk about. So we've been working on Foxhole for a long time.
Oh.
And to
Foxhole Premium?
celebrate the
It's
10
the buy.
years of Foxhole development, we're
Pay
going to
Foxhole
launch a
Premium.
special edition of the game on Steam. And this edition is for longtime players. We're intending it for players who have been with us for years who want to support the project and support the updates and hopefully get a few extra things. And we'll talk about those extra things. One of them, there's going to be a art book, and this is really cool. It's going to be hundreds of pages of concept art from the history of the game over the 10 years.
I don't even want the book.
And
take
there's
my
going to
money.
be lore and
That will all be posted on Reddit
development
within 5
notes,
seconds.
included as a part of this. And the next thing is there's going to be a soundtrack that includes all
Yes!
the music from the game. And just to
Almost
note,
sitting at the main
all the
menu.
music is done by our local composer, Rom DePrisco. That is local to Toronto, which we're based out of. And he's been working with us for the 10 years making music for all the way from the first trailer we launched to the updates throughout the year, and the Inferno update, new tracks were added, and we've just even up till last year or a year and a half ago, we added some new tracks. So all that's all included in one place here.
I mean, as a fun fact, with since we're on the topic, Rom has actually also worked with us on our previous game as well, and will be working with us in the future on Anvil. So it's a long-term collaborator.
Yeah, and we're also going to be including some new exclusive illustrations that are focused on the lower side of Foxhole. These are really cool. The concept art team has worked really hard on this, and I some of these illustrations are just really amazing. I've just been completely blown away, and we're just really excited that we're going to be able to give this to you guys in wallpaper form for your phone and your desktop. And there's two in-game things, and these are again in theme with Foxhole's development history. First is you're going to be able to change your UI to be themed
there's the
like
cosmetic.
prior updates. So this includes
I was just talking about
entrenchment,
rotating
arms
splash
race,
Fuck's an SPTR?
Winter Army, Inferno, and basically all the main
supporter rank.
major update
Oh,
themes are going to be included here. You can switch into UI, you can randomize it, and it's just a cool thing to be able to change your background in game. And finally, there's going to be a supporter badge to show that you have been a supporter of the game. And that's it. There's no skins. There's no season pass type stuff. This is all just
No, they should have done
some
other
things
camo
to
styles for
celebrate
upgraded.
the long history of Foxhole development, and it's gonna be coming on February 9th, but the page should be coming up now or soon on Steam, and you can go there and add it to your wish
Report
list
that
so you
battle
can be
pass.
notified to
Sad.
get it on launch day. And again, this edition is for longtime players who want to support the project. And if you are able to get it, I do want to note that a lot of the content here has been available on the website or in blog form for free for some time. A lot of the concept art, every major update, we do a blog post that contains all the concept art for the update, and that's not going to change. That's we're going to be doing one of those posts for this update as well, and that's going to remain free, as well as some of the music tracks you can also get on our website. So that stuff is going to change.
There will probably be a lot of new insights and look into the development that I don't know that we've talked about before, or concepts that maybe didn't
there
hit.
is
Yeah.
There are new things that are part of this, but just wanted to clarify that we're not going to be taking away anything or doing less. So that's basically it. And let's see what we have. Oh yeah, so just to talk about the schedule, couple of things happening in the next couple of weeks. First, the Airborne gameplay trailer, official trailer, voiced by Jeffrey Jennings from Press Corps, who has once again we're very grateful that they've helped us with the trailer voiced by them, and that's something that will be dropping I think any moment, and hopefully we can get that into chat because it's an amazing well, I think the voiceover is amazing. I like the trailer too, but the voiceover always just sort of
war again.
Just sort of elevates.
That's only about 10 days of dev branch for all changes you need to make. Ooh, that's
and
tight.
after this stream, there's going to be a Q&A on the Foxhole Reddit. January 20th, dev branch opens the pre-patch war, and we're also going to be doing a concept art dev blog post, and the date's February 5th there. That may change depending on our schedule. I didn't mark that as a tentative thing, but that will be coming one way or another. And like I said, we're gonna continue to post our concept art on our blog. And then finally, February 9th is the launch day. And then the one thing that we do want to stress is that we do have new updates coming in 2026. This is yeah, there is actually some content and features that we initially wanted to do for the Airborne update, but we couldn't. But that's starting to shape up into
So the rest of
some
the Airborne
there's
update?
hope.
and feature that is going to be coming through 2026.
Airborne update broken.
And I think that is about it. So yeah, again, this is the end of the stream, but everybody encourage you to go over and watch the Airborne trailer, as it's cool. And that's it. That's it, Matt.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And the dev branch will be launching in parts soon. And so we'd love to get your feedback on all of the features that we will be sharing with the dev branch, so that we can make sure that your voices are also heard on all of that stuff. And I haven't had to say this in a while, so it's I gotta like loosen up a little bit before.
So is that
get into
stretch? Is that time for if you want to take a break? Take a break now.
Yeah. You just gotta.
We're gonna take. We're all taking a break, right? Or leave
stay
for dev branch.
See you next time.
We'll discuss it later.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a couple important things that I need to say.
Okay, before you do that, whoa, before we yap about
Post those bingo cards.
Whoa, before we yap about balance. Okay, we have limited time, so very important. Reddit Q&A. For those who have never done Reddit Q&A before, the devs have a much higher chance to answer bulk questions. So if one person posts like 10 questions from a regiment, you have a higher chance of actually getting a reply. If you just go and send an individual question on Reddit, there's a chance it might just get ignored. So, in the dev branch feedback channel, I'm going to start a thread. If you would like to ask a question to the devs, I will collate them all in one big post. I'll put them on Reddit, and I will post it. And I'll be like, HvL asks the following question. So please put your question in there. The reason why we do it this way is so that we get defined answers. If you're unsure what to ask, try and limit it to questions that can't be solved by logging into the dev branch for 5 minutes. So don't be like, how much is the bomber going to cost? Because that's a question that the devs will literally answer. Log into the dev branch, go look at the pad, go look at the airfield, go look at the thing. So if you have a question like that, I will make a thread in the dev branch, put your question there, ask a couple questions if you want. I'll probably pick the best one or try and stick to one good question, and then I'll do a mega post on HvL's behalf, and then we'll all get our answers. So we'll go with that. Okay, with that being said, I will now work on the thread, and everyone else is now free to yap about what they think and what their feelings are. Go for it.
Maybe watch the trailer.
Sorry, just a heads up. The thread is already open. It's in regiment chat.
Right, well.
Well, that requires to be verified as Warden now, wouldn't it?
No, it doesn't. It's in the unverified regiment chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so one of the things I noticed throughout that stream was at the start of it when they showed off the planes, they mentioned how the dive bomber is going to take a lot of skill to use. It's going to be very skillful to actually hit targets with. And the major benefit of it is going to be disabling ship turrets. Now at the time, I thought, oh, that's going to be really good because you can't repair turrets. So they're going to have to evac back. Maybe it doesn't do a lot of damage. They have to repair turrets, and then so you're putting them out of commission that way. But then they said how you can just straight up repair a turret with metal beams, and a ship can carry thousands and thousands and thousands of metal beams.
I think you're thinking a little small on that, because Warden artillery cannot survive anymore.
Yeah,
the ability to maneuver artillery from static positions is just become huge, especially for the Colonial side.
Also,
the other
if
thing
it's not
too,
just turret like on battleships, but like subsystems in general, this would also just be useful in like tank fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm specifically talking on the naval side. On the naval side, it seems like this update is massively in favor of the Warden sides with the stuff they get for naval.
completely disagree with you.
Weejet,
on
I
that.
think we need to actually see stuff, and I'm going to be completely real with you, Weejet. You say that every update, my guy.
I mean,
I
So-
want to posit that dive bombers can be launched from our aircraft carrier, while they can't launch their torpedo bombers from their carrier, which I think gives us actually a rather huge naval advantage.
Aren't there? Don't their torpedo bombers land on water or no?
Yeah, they one of their they have two.
No,
one
they don't.
uses
No.
minis,
Yeah.
and one is that big 3-engine one that looks like the.
Not
Italian
worried about
piece
the
of
mini
shit.
one.
Mini one,
I
yes. Big one.
I
no.
imagine that big one is kind of like their long range answer, so it would require proper intel for it to actually do anything, because that isn't something you send up on its own; it'll get shot down.
I do imagine that if you get, say, 2 or 3 of those, and you set it at a ship, that ship is probably good as dead, assuming it doesn't get intercepted.
The new metal beam shit is definitely a wait and see, because we have to see how many metal beams exactly it is. This is kind of what everyone thought it was going to be like when they first added it anyway, so...
But it's a good thing that they addressed that. And again, I agree with you that we have to wait for see. What I also find positive is basically the mid range of ships, the overhauls of the gunboats, and the variants on mine laying, but also that you don't need to do APC and guns as retaliation against other gunboats. So there's a lot of nice additional things.
in the small ship category, the collies are way up.
Also, really quick, I'm gonna stream the Foxhole gameplay trailer for the Airborne too.
Oh wait, link that up. Just link that. I didn't see it, so just link it here and I'll open it.
Yeah.
Real quick, can someone remind me what was the Warden Corvette? Was that the twin 30 mil in the RPGs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Foxhole is a massively multiplayer game where thousands of players shape the outcome of a persistent online war.
Legendary, it's nothing.
A new era of Foxhole begins with Airborne, the update that brings air-based warfare, combining it with land and naval gameplay to create a seamless online battlefield. Build and operate squadrons of recon planes, fighters, bombers, and other specialized aircraft. Embark on new air-based operations, including air-to-air battles, supply line disruption, bombing runs, and more. Every pilot, gunner, and crew member is a player, working together in various roles to achieve victory in the skies. Paratroopers blur the lines between air and ground operations. Squads can be deployed behind hostile lines to cripple key infrastructure and disrupt enemy logistics. Building and controlling airfields, hangars, and production facilities is essential in maintaining efficient aerial operations. Aircraft consist of subsystems that can be individually damaged during missions, reducing their combat and maneuvering capabilities until they can land and be serviced. Ground crews must rearm and repair damaged planes between sorties. Anti-air weapons must be deployed to protect land forces and supply lines from enemy bombing raids. Maintaining a robust intelligence network will be critical for detecting enemy airborne invasions, including the deployment of recon planes and the construction of advanced radar installations. Finally, the largest ship in the fleet has arrived. Combining both air and naval forces, the Carrier enables aircraft to launch and engage in missions offshore, striking at the enemy from any location at sea. Airborne is an expansive update that includes several other key features, including upgraded environment visuals, new map regions, and expanded naval forces with new ship classes. A new era for Foxhole is about to begin, with a lot more to come. So prepare your crew and take to the skies.
It's so fucking funny
I have a
when
quick
they
question.
airdrop in the middle of a town.
That's a lot.
Yeah, right.
So I got a quick question to throw at you guys. Do you think the devs made a mistake in not adding AI AA?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Hold on. This depends on how the detection system works. Because if you have enough alert time, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like how in naval, does it really matter that there's no dedicated anti-naval guns? As long as you know they're coming and you can get to the.
But we do have AI naval guns.
We did. Hold on. Somebody else.
You're gonna need people to QRF that. Are people actually gonna stop what they're doing and QRF that?
They do everything else.
This requires special plans.
We do have the coastal gun though. The coastal gun's AI.
Yeah, but that's not for large ships.
It's not for large, correct? But it is something.
All right, this might be my fucking nutty Charlie Day conspiracy theory, but I think they're gonna. No shit. My theory is that they're gonna add them later, once people have gotten around the skill curve of not losing planes to just fucking crashing them.
You might.
They also have to see the effectiveness of the anti-air as well. Like they still didn't show us how regular guns are supposed to shoot at aircraft. You know, they only described how the anti-aircraft artillery works.
I would assume you just hit F to change the firing mode like everything else, and it points up.
Or you can
It points up, but how do you see the aircraft? So you just get
cameras out, kind of like.
It seems hold on, guys, because I could. We wanted to say something with regards to anti-aircraft AI.
Yeah, no. The naval does have AI, but it's for small ships. But the thing, large ships are not as prevalent as the naval force is going to be. So it would make sense to have AI, but it's a hard one. But because you can't really add AI for frontline defenses, because that would just make planes useless.
Correct.
So what I was thinking they were going to do is I thought they were going to add advanced bunkers. Only advanced bunkers could be the AI, and then you can't really have that at front lines. And that would probably be very bad, very delayed, and I know very inaccurate and stuff like that. And that's what I think they might eventually add.
They're going to add it because this war is something that people have been looking forward to. There's going to be enough players to QRF at any moment.
So the one thing to be very scary. Look, I'm not too concerned about AI not being able to shoot air, because that is probably something that they can balance around the strategic placement of airfields and the strategic use case for the aircraft carrier. The scary part, this is the mega scary part, is we will have to sit down and we have to redesign our facilities, because now there's a chance that a paratrooper plane flies over our facility while we're offline and drops 20 dudes, all satchels, and they're going to target RSCs. They're going to target RSCs. Wait, let me finish. Please, let me finish. They will target RSCs and bombers being printing. So we need to figure out how we can design bases with more rifle coverage. Basically, we might have to ban MGs from facility designs altogether, because we need internal defenses really badly. Because I think out of everything so far that's shown, it's going to be Cutlers dropping into facilities with RPGs and destroying cranes. That's the biggest threat that I've seen out of this. It's going to be dudes with satchels. And, if the war progresses to the point where bombers can reach us, it's probably GG anyway. Because it looks like bombers... There was no naval bomber, right? It's the bombers have to take off from an airfield, I assume. We'll see with that.
Two things on that. One, we have to see what that weight limit looks like with the parachute, because that could be really high. And the second thing I noticed, the Warden torpedo bomber, the big one, I don't think it's a float plane. I think it has to take off from an airfield.
It does. It had fixed landing gear.
So that changes that whole torpedo dynamic we were talking about earlier, because it means they have to have good intel to actually use it properly.
Also, I do believe during the paratrooper section, he said if you're encumbered, you won't be able to deploy your parachute.
Correct.
That'd be funny. But you can still jump.
You can still jump, but you'll just die on impact.
Yeah, so you take your alt account, fill them with satchels, throw them out, and then parachute.
Oh my god.
So does that mean paratroopers?
Stop. Everybody stop talking over each other, please. One at a time.
DIY than the Rejet.
Okay, so the paratrooper thing, is that going to change metas with people? I mean, tap ops are going to be a serious thing now, right?
Yeah,
I would assume.
You still need a CV.
You still need a CV.
Yeah, you still need a CV.
Guess my quick thought after this is done.
It's going to be more for like destroying like stockpiles of facility stuff.
Hitting the enemy's airfield before your actual air raid.
Hit the ports.
Also, what can be used, and then we did, you go. But what can be used is we have a defensive line that is only frontal defenses, and so you can drop your paratroopers behind the defense line and open those defenses so people can destroy the defenses so people can go in. So yes, we need to meta design 360 defenses and not just 180. Widget, you wanted to react?
Well, I just had one thing too. I'd like to add on.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that people joke about the alt account jumping out of planes. That's 1,000% going to happen. I mean, it already happens with people with partisans where they have their alt account just sitting in the back of a truck to carry more explosives. It's definitely going to happen with planes where they just have an overcumbered guy that's got an entire inventory of satchels just jump out of plane just to die at the bottom so they can loot it and then place them. That's 1,000% going to happen.
I think it also depends on how wide the coverage by the air search radars is going to be. Because if you can see, like, planes coming in from, like, a hex or two away, you got plenty time to vector in interceptor. Or if, barring that, at least, like, oh, they might be deploying paratroopers somewhere over the path of where it goes. QRF should be at the ready.
Can I speak as well? I personally don't even know that we'll be able to, at least I don't think Wardens will be able to drop with satchels, just because I don't think, one, the weight limit, and second off, they might just restrict certain items that you can carry with the uniform equipped.
With Wardens, the issue is probably going to be cutlers and RPGs, because you might think they're heavy, they're incredibly light. You could, even if the parachute weighs 50% of the weight, you're probably going to be able to carry a cutler and like 4 RPGs.
Well, and here's the other thing I was going to add to that, is that we don't know how the landing of those paratroopers is going to work, because is it going to be pinpoint landings where you can control where your character actually goes? Or will your character just land in a general area and you just have to pray to God it doesn't land you in AI?
So
I think that's the case.
So what we need to do is we need to make a suspiciously vulnerable Ares in the middle of an open field, and then we cover it in minefields that they can't see from there.
Yeah,
there's
genius
thought actually. How are you going to get your plane and 10 paratroopers through the frontline queues? Are you going to fly around the hex?
That is we never answered.
Yeah, they never said anything about that. Yeah.
No, one of the devs did say airplanes will act like trucks in queue.
Yeah.
So they'll just sit there.
So you you hit the wall and sit there is what it's going to sound like.
Yeah, but when they're attacking backlines targets, they're just probably going to go through the sea hexes. Especially if planes have a lot of fuel capacity, even if it's like people do a one-way trip with bombers to do a partisan run, or transports to the thing.
It's
like,
going
people
to limit
will do
the
that.
range going to go around the queue.
So one more thing.
I think that's going to be the case. Yeah, you gotta.
So one more thing. The collie transport plane is amphibious. Was the Warden one amphibious or not? Because if the Warden one is not amphibious, then
I don't think it was.
Then the collie one can land in the ocean off radar. You bring up a barge, so you sneak in a barge with a Stolon with fuel, and then you refill from the water, and then you take off, and then you continue backwards. So this could literally be the first time ever that collies get advanced partisan gameplay loop.
Oh yeah, so
yeah, we'll see.
My only problem with that is they said refueling was going to be a big part of planes. I seriously doubt it's just going to be click a button and you get to refuel the plane like you do a ship or a tank.
They will just kill the plane and
interruption. Quick thing. There is so much more than what we showed on stream. We literally didn't have time for everything. Max.
This game will never be the same again.
Helicopters. They didn't show the helicopters.
So if you did bingo cards, you might still have a chance at bingo.
Yeah, I'm not finished. I've got mine. I've got several that are sitting at 4. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm pretty close too.
Well, I think
also another.
I think on that note, I'm gonna head off. But thanks for all the feedback. Again, do your questions. We'll review it. We'll chat. And again, feel free to disperse into other smaller YAP channels. I mean, it's exciting, guys. We have to redesign a few things. Let's not doom post just yet. I know it's there. Just hold it in.
It might be the end of War Factory, is what I will say, because having a frontline facility with planes,
we'll see. All right, guys.
But
let's
wait,
get excited.
On,
let's think
go,
about it. Do questions
before you go.
Yeah.
Conclave is Collie Green now.
Nice. Yeah, we have the clown cave. We are the clowns. All right, guys. Let's go. Let's think about it. Cheers.
See ya.
I have to go get fired.